Welcome everyone, this is Gwydion with RPG Frequencies, and today I'm going to be playing a game called Brightborne. Now this is a GM-less adventure. You can play up to 4 players. I'm going to be playing it pure solo, but I found this game, I think initially I found it through a video from Man Alone. I would encourage you to check him out. I might drop a link in the description, but if you all found my channel, you're probably very familiar with Man Alone. I love his videos, and he has such a fun way of going through games. So I would encourage you to check him out. But let's get in. I'm just going to dive right into the playthrough and character creation, and let's just see how far we can get and see if I have to split this video into more than one. So in this game, you're playing somebody of I think it's called Bright Blood. I believe that's what it's called. Flip to the next page or two. I'm going to go through the initial intro to let you find that. But yes, you're of Bright Blood, and you're trying to rid the land of these nightmare lords. So the whole impetus of the game is you're going to be going on what are called hunts, and you're going to be fighting different monsters, creating or passing hopefully different skill checks, and ultimately you're looking for the nightmare lord. So what will you need? Pretty straightforward. You have a character sheet, and there's a PDF that I'll be using that you can print out that comes with the game. And right now, by the way, it is on DriveThruRPG as of the recording of this video on what is today, May 17th, 2025. You can find this for $4.99 on DriveThruRPG. So, and I did purchase this. This is not a sponsored or paid video or anything of that nature. You'll need a pencil, maybe take some notes. Standard card deck, poker deck, and you'll have several different decks. Fate deck, which will be number cards 2 through 10. Enemy deck will be all the face cards with aces removed, and then you will remove the jokers, but you'll keep one joker, which will signify your encounter with the Nightmare Lord. Go through that. So, and that's really it. No, you don't need any dice, none of that. So let's get into the character creation process. So you're going to first distribute your skills, or sorry, these scores. You have 2 3s and 2 2s, and you're going to distribute them among your skills. So let's flip over to the character sheet. And just so you know, this does come with the game. I made this form fillable. I might see if the author, Peter Scholtz, will let me distribute this. And I also added at the bottom, I tried to make it look similar, but I added condition section and incapacitated conditions. You can get up to 4 conditions in the game. Each time you get one, they actually you'll actually incur damage prior to each. I think it's the beginning of each of your turns, so it's good to track those somewhere. You could do it in a journal or what have you. And incapacitated, basically, if you get down to 0 vigor, you've got I almost said hit points. It's not hit points. I believe it's hit protection is what he calls that. But I think that's, yeah, hit protection. So you have hit protection, and once you lose 5 of your hit protection, you'll lose 1 vigor, and if you lose all 5 vigors, you become incapacitated. So the game's not necessarily over, but if you get incapacitated 3 times, then you will actually, you have to die or retire. I forget exactly how that works. So let's just create a name. I'm gonna say Samuel. I feel like I'm never very creative with my names. We'll say Samuel. And here are the different skills. So just going from left to right, Veil is discretion, stealth, and deception. So if I'm trying to draw a parallel with, say, like D&D, Veil is more of like your, I guess, your dexterity stat, if you will. Insight represents awareness, perception, and knowledge. So I would say that's kind of a combination of wisdom and intelligence. Spark helps you connect with others. Kindness, persuasion, bravery. So probably something akin to charisma. And then grit is your physical strength and endurance. So kind of a combination of strength and con. So anyway, all right, that's that. So I'm just going to go in here. I want my grit to be strong, so I'm gonna do that 3, and then I think I want to be a little bit stealthy So I'll call my Veil 3, and then I'll put Insight at 2 and Spark at 2. All right, so let's go back to the character sheet. Choose an archetype. I think you can choose this outright if you want. So let's flip to 25, or sorry, to page 25. So this is your table. It's going to be a little hard to read, but you can see 2 through 10 signifies that you can draw your archetype through playing cards. So let's just do that. So I'm going to be using playingcards.io, and let me show that to you. I'll make this minimize that. So I created this for free in playingcards.io. I should say it's not. I have a premium subscription, so I do have a paid subscription to playingcards.io. I'm going to work with Peter and see if I can release this for free, because I don't think I have anything in here that is proprietary. So I don't see why I couldn't release this, but I'll just walk you through really briefly how we're going to be using this. So location and risk, I'll go through that when we go through the turns. Combat and checks will be up here. Your different decks. You have a fate deck that we briefly talked about. So this is going to be 2 through 10s. This is going to be your enemy deck, which is going to be face cards. This is simply a joker, but I have some automation that'll shuffle this in to the right place in the encounter deck. Lord deck, if we get that far in the game play today, then we will have a Lord battle. And then you have some shuffles, and I have some other. I have over here is kind of my combat grid. So I did try to recreate this. This is, you will, trying to remember, I think you have to draw this yourself. This doesn't come as like a PDF or anything with the game, but I just created one in Excel and threw it into playing cards. So, all right, enough of that. So I'm just going to click player action just to draw a card for my archetype. So let's just do that. So I got a 9 of clubs. So I don't think the clubs matters, but here we go. Oh, that's cool. I like it. So it says a veil +1, and then I have a carved bone staff. Let's see if I can select these and copy and paste. Might not be able to. Yeah, that's all right. Well, maybe I can. Let's try this again. Veil +1. So let's kind of go back. So my veil will become a 4, which I really like. And then that is a carved bone staff. Let's see if I can just copy and paste that for now. And carved bone staff. So what this means is, I believe if I'm on a J or a Q square in the combat grid, the basic attack becomes an AoE, so an area of effect with +1 damage. That's cool. Now this is a combat art, which means you only get to use this once per hunt. So I have to remember that, but you only get to use this once per hunt. So I guess carved bone staff, veil, I don't know, maybe this guy's more of a rogue. So the class doesn't mean anything. It's just purely flavor, but I'm just going to say he's a rogue. Let's go back to our character creation. We've done that. We've added the weapon, added the, oh, well, wait a second. Let me make sure I did that right. Apologies. Go back to our archetype. So the weapon, oh, there we go. I did that wrong. So let's go back. This is not combat art. This is my inventory. So let's get rid of that. So that is, that's great. That's going to be fun to use. And then my combat art, let's just copy and paste this and we'll read that. So I don't need this to be bold. All right. Give any weapon +5 damage until your next turn. That is really cool. Firebrand sounds like he's more like a warlock or something. You know what? I'm going to change that. I don't know. Sounds fun. Warlock. All right. Let's go back. Let's go back to character creation. Now we're going to draw fate cards for 3 mundane items. So let's do that. I'll click here so we're ready to look at this table, but then we'll minimize this. And we're going to, I'm going to discard this to get rid of it. Just end turn, we'll discard it. So just get rid of that. And then I'm going to click 3 more. All right, 10, 6, 9. So let's go 10 of clubs first. 10 of clubs first. So here's the clubs, 10. So Tinker's Hammer. Tinker's Hammer. So let's do, I'm going to do it over here. Tinker's, I can, Tinders. Nah, it's not that kind of stream. Tinker's Hammer. And we will go, oh, sorry. What I get for not doing this before. And then we did, sorry, I already forgot. 6 of diamonds, 9 of diamonds. That should be easy. So 6 of diamonds, pair of old calipers. Pair of old calipers. And then finally, what was the 6 of diamonds, 9 of diamonds, I think? Yeah, 9 of diamonds. And that is a decorated quill. Okay. So what this does when we're going to be in combat, the way combat will work, you'll be drawing cards, and each of your inventory items can be used to draw an additional card. However, you need to have something, be able to explain how it helps you. So it's one of those games which I love. I'm trying to think. There's so many other games that I've played that have a similar type of mechanic, but you just need to be able to describe how you're using it to give you a +1 bonus. And you can only use one mundane item a check. And if you use it on a check and if you fail or have a messy success, which I'll get into in a bit, then you actually lose that item. So we'll get through that. All right. Go back to the character creation. I think that's it. Choose a name, character class. I already did that. And any other details you want, which I'll leave it there for now. And that's it. All right. So let's get into the gameplay loop. Let's just start. So encounter deck, you're going to prepare the encounter deck, draw the top 10 cards from your fate deck, and you're going to put the Joker in one of the last 4 cards total. So you're going to take 3 cards out of your 10 encounter deck, and then you're going to shuffle the Joker in between those somewhere. So ultimately, it's going to be one of the last 4 cards you draw in an 11 card deck. Now, one of the things the author says is you can add more. You can make your encounter deck say 7 if you want a shorter game, or make it 15 if you want like a really long game. But that it's one way to just kind of make the game shorter or longer if you'd like. So I don't know how long this will play yet, so I'm just going to leave it as is. So I'm going to keep my book open. So I have a spiral bound book so I can read this and not keep hopefully flipping back and forth. But let's go to the table, the virtual table. All right, I'm going to end my turn and get those deck down into the discard or those cards. And I've already created, no, I haven't created. Let's create the encounter deck. So I have a little button here, and here's my Joker. That's going to get shuffled in somewhere into the last 4 cards. So now I have my encounter deck. So how we're going to start is we're going to draw a card from the encounter deck first, which will be our location card. So I'm going to click on my location button. So the location is the 7 of diamonds. And then we're also going to draw from the fate deck next, what is called a risk, which will add a risky situation to your location. So that's going to come from the fate deck. So I've got a 7 of diamonds and 6 of clubs. So let's see what those will give us. So let's start with our location. 7 of diamonds is a collapsed stone stair twisting along the edge of a yawning shaft with only a frayed length of rope serving as a rail. Below, the faint gleam of metal glints in the dark. You can check it. What that means is if I end up successfully completing a skill check or a combat, depending on what my risk is, then I can search the room at the end of the combat or at the end of the skill check that I have to do. All right, so that gives you a visual representation of what the room looks like. And then my risk is a 6 of clubs. I think if it's black, that means it's combat, I believe. So let's go to my risk table. 6 of clubs. A low rattle comes from the grate in the corner, and a finger bone scrapes its way out of the dark. So I'm immediately into combat with 3 crawling hands. So they are immune to all conditions except crippled. So I don't know if there's a way for me to give them a condition. I don't know if I have anything that would give them one, but I have to keep that in mind. that they are immune. So let's go to the table and we'll get into combat. So I do have a little enemy chart up here. So I'm going to click on the crawling hand. So they have a vigor of 1, and that means, again, they'll have essentially 5 hit protection before they die, but they only have 1 vigor. And they have a threat of 2, which means they will be pulling 2 cards for their combat. So let's see if I can do this right. So there's 3 of them. So I'm going to pull these in. Actually, before I pull them in, what I need to do, let me get to my combat. I'm going to have to set these guys up. So the first thing I need to do is draw 3 cards for their location. So I'm going to draw from the enemy deck. So let's do that. So the first one is going to be a King of Spades. So it goes from top to bottom. So like it's not really farthest away. These are purely not theater of the mind, but it's abstract. Okay, this is totally abstract, but the enemies will be on the top grid and I'll be on the bottom grid. So King of Spades, we are going to grab just this puck down here, put it in the king, and then the spades is the first column. Let's draw the next card, King of Hearts. So this one will go up here, and we'll draw the last one, Jack of Hearts. So the last one here is going to be closer, and the Jack of Hearts. So whenever I attack, I'm going to be attacking into the same column or into one column. So might be good for me to, I can put myself wherever I want. Might be good for me to put myself here. But let's get this set up here. So I'm going to signify so I can remember which one's which. I'm going to have that be a 7. I'm going to have this. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's just do these in order. 3. This will be a 7. This will be a 12. So their hit protection is 5, as we know. They start with 5 just like we do. And this will be 5, 1, 5, 1, and there we go. So we got that set up. So I think that's all I need to do to set them up. Now I should put myself, and it is tactical, right? Like let's look for a second at my character sheet. So if I'm in a J or a Q, my basic attacks become area of effect. And area of effect, I might look, see if I can find that. Yeah, I might have to look that up, but obviously, so with +1 damage, I do want to look at that. So I think I might want to put myself on a J or a Q. Seems like. Now the other thing too is if I'm on a J, I get +1 to my attack. I don't know if AC. I think that's attack check, or I don't remember what that stands for, but it's +1 to my attack action, and then the number below that is your dodge bonus. So, do you want to be more attacking or sorry, yeah, dodge bonus will allow you to decrease your damage done to you by 1. So I think I'm going to go into Q. I mean, I want to have a little bit of dodge bonus, and I'm going to put myself here. I do want to look up AoE just really briefly so I can see if I can find it. Area effect. Okay. These attacks, just like player attacks, target all players in the indicated column and row. I thought you could already do that in the indicated column and row. All right, let's just keep that in mind. I don't want to take us down, but basic attacks become. All right, let's just go back to the table. I am going to let's see, discard the setup cards. So get those down. So those went in my enemy discard. So now I get to start. And the way that we will start, because I always act first, I have 2 actions available. I don't need to move. I think I could just set myself up and wherever I want. So in this case, I should be able to just straight up attack. So what I'm going to do is draw a number of cards. And I want to look at this one more time, because I thought the author said that you can basically use whatever cards you want to attack. Sorry, whatever skill, but I do think that it said something in here, I swear, about the type of card. that you will use based on your, yeah, when you draw a risk card, combat grid, clues. See if I can find it. I know this is not compelling. Initiative, player attacks. When you attack, okay, here we go. This is what I was looking for. So I think we need to do this. And let's just, I want to highlight that for a second. So if I'm using my staff, I think that's grit. That's what I was trying to understand. So I think I'm going to play it that way for now. So let's go back here. So my grit is 3. I think that's fair. And so I will be using 3 cards. And let's see, is there anything else in here? I don't see anything else that gives me a bonus. So 3 cards. My basic attack becomes an area of effect, though, with +1 damage. So I think what will happen, so when I'm attacking, and you choose one of your weapons, weapons are tied to a specific skill. Okay. And you can apply its damage bonus only if you attack using the correct skill. So I guess, I don't know what my carbone staff, did that tell me what the skill was? Carbone staff? Go back to that again. I want to go to my archetype. Maybe it's because it's a veil +1. It's tied to veil. The only thing I can think of. So if that's the case, veil would be 4. I think that's right, but I keep flipping back and forth. I'm just trying to get this right. So let's go back to my combat. And see. So you can use, I guess, any of those, but if you want to use your weapon, which I do, I want to tie it to my skill, which I think because it gave me that veil +1, I'm going to say it's a veil. So we will do that only if you attack using the correct skill and from the required position. All right, we'll run with that, and we're going to say that it will give me the area of effect. I think normally when you attack, you're attacking 1. You can only attack in a straight line. But because it's an area of effect, again, as we saw, I think what gives me, it targets all players in the row indicated, in the indicated column and row. So I think what I get to do then, since I'm doing it straight in a straight line, I can target 3 and 12. So I don't know if I have to, attack each one individually. I'm going to say it's an AoE. So we're going to draw, again, 4 cards because we have the, because we're using the veil. And I think that's it. I'm in a queen, so I get +0, so I don't get an extra card here. But they are in, let's see, they will have, one of them will have a dodge bonus of 2, one of them will have 0. And then there's nothing else that will impact me other than I can't give them a condition. So let's draw 4 cards, player action, 4 cards. And what we're trying to get, since I'm attacking with my veil, which is based on spades, then if I match a spade, it's 3 points of damage. If I match just the color, so a club, it's going to be 1 point of damage. And any red, diamonds or hearts, is just kind of a miss, or it doesn't add to the. Let's go. Player action 1. That's a heart. So again, I need black. Okay, there's a spade. That's 3 points of damage. And I'm going to say it's an AoE, so I'm just going to do these once. 5 of hearts, nothing, and then 1 more. 10 of diamonds. But I did 3 points to both of them. And this is only my first attack, as I understand it. So I am going to take down the 3 here by 2, by 3. So this is going to go down to 2 hit protection. Now, this one, because he's in a king, he's going to get +2 to dodge bonus. So instead of doing 3 points, I'm only going to do 1 to him. So he's going to go down 1 to 4. But as soon as these go down to 0, since they only have 1 vigor, they're dead. They're done. So that's good. So I'm going to yeah, I'm just going to get those out for now, get rid of those cards. So let's end those. And then what I'm going to do, because I get two actions, I can do an area of effect again because I'm in the right square and I'm using my weapon. So I think I can do an AoE again. So let's do my 4 cards again. So player action 1. All right, that's 1 point of damage. 2, 2 points of damage. 3, nothing. 4, yes. So that's 5 points of damage. So this 3 here had 2 points left, so he is dead. So I'm just going to put this to 0, this to 0, and let's just move him off the board so we know he's dead. And then this one up top, again, I did 3 points of damage for 5 less 2, right? 5 less 2 is 3. Ah, he's still alive. I did 3 points of damage. Yep, so he has 1 left. So both of them are still alive. I'm going to end my turn, and then I'm going to go to the enemies. So the enemy now gets to attack. So he gets to move and he gets to attack. So he'll get 2 cards. So let's start with, I guess we'll do, I think you do each of them in order. So let's just start with the 7 up here. And yeah, we'll say he goes first. So his first enemy action is a king of diamonds, so you can't move them on top of each other. So in this case, he's not. He's moving next to his buddy here, so king of diamonds. And remember, it's not necessarily like how far away you are. This is all abstract. So we will go now to, I guess we'll just resolve his action first. So his next card is a queen of clubs. So he's attacking anything that is either in a queen row, which unfortunately I am, or a club. So he does get to attack me, and he gets 2 threat cards. And this crawling hand's just kind of crawling up and ripping at my ankle. So he is going to draw 2 threat cards. So let's, I just say discard setup. I'm trying to learn how I set this up to make sure. I think I can just do that. Yeah, so that discards just to get rid of those. So now let's draw his cards for combat. And I want to remember how to do this. Oh, shoot. Uh, let's see. What did he have? He had a king of diamonds. Is it a queen? I don't feel like it was. Is that all we did? Is just the oh shoot. Now I'm well. You know what? I know we had the king of diamonds. Let's move these back down. I don't think I did this yet. So I think all I did was, yeah, now I'm confusing myself. But that's right, attack card. This is going to be the second card. So, oh no, that's right. We did the queen, right? Yeah. Okay, that was right. So let's go back. So that was his attack card. So so what does he do now? So to resolve, use its profile threat, this number, and I think he has to, yeah, he has to resolve. So now he's going to be looking for clubs. That's why I probably shouldn't have gotten rid of that. So now he's going to draw 2 cards because he's got a threat of 2, but he's in the king of diamonds, so it's -1 to his attack. So by doing that, he only gets 1 card. So okay, so he has to get a club. So let's go ahead and draw the enemy action. Queen of diamonds. So it's a diamond, so that's a straight up miss. And that should be it. So that's great. So that's 1. That's number 7 that just went. So let's discard those cards. And now we're going to go for 12. So this other crawling hand is going to figure out what he's going to do. So let's go this first action. So Jack of diamonds. So he's going to move over here. So he will get +1 to his, I think it's attack card is what that is, +1 attack card or attack check. So that's that. And so now this will be his what row and what column does he attack? So Queen of Spades, gosh darn it. So he does attack into the queen. So he is attacking me, and he gets 1 extra attack card. So threat level of 2 and 1 extra attack card. So he gets 3. So I'm going to leave this up here. Actually, you know what? Just for me, I'm just going to do this so I know it's the queen of spades that he needs to get spades. So all right, so he gets 3 attack cards. So the first one, so a king, so it's black, so that's 1 point of damage. 2, oh, spades, so that's 3 points. That's 4 points of damage. So 4 points of damage. But let's see, do I have anything else? Got 1 dodge bonus. So 4 points of damage becomes 3. I think that's all I can get. So that'll be 3 points of damage to me. So let's go back. Character sheet. We're going to say he's down to 12 or 2 hit protection and still 5 vigor. So he's still in pretty good shape. Oh, I should have did not catch this. I need to remember that. So I should be getting +1 damage with my AoE. I missed that. And I probably would have knocked this guy out. I'm just going to run with it and say I made a mistake and he slipped a little bit, but I think technically he should have been dead because I had that plus AoE. So, all right, that's their turn. So now I can end the overall turn. And then these 2 cards, well, I don't want to do that, do I? Because that'll get rid of the location and the risk. I don't want to do that. So let's just say discard. I might change the name of this, but discard that. That's good. And now we're going to go to my turn. So let's see. I get 1 action, again, 1 movement. So in this case, I have to move because, and again, abstract, but in general, if they're not right in front of me in this column, that just means I don't have a clear line of sight to them. So I do need to move where I can get a clear line of sight to these guys. So my first action is going to be moved to here. And I'm still in a queen, which is good because I want to be in I think a queen or a jack, if I remember right. And now I can target both of these guys. 1 attack, but at least I can target them both. So let's go ahead and do my player action. So I'm going to get, again, Veil. I'm going to use 4 cards for my Veil. And it's an AoE, so it'll affect both. So let's do this. And we will say card 1, 8 of spades, and oh, shoot. I keep forgetting. Let's see. Now I'm already forgetting. How do I determine? Oh, it's spades. That's right, because I'm using Veil and I'm using the weapon that ties to Veil. So I need spades. That's great. That's 4. And my next action is player action. Oh my God, that's 8. And then I get 2 more. So I've done 8 points of damage. Let's start with the guy up here, 7. So 8 points of damage minus 2 because he has +2 dodge. That's still 7 points. So he is dead. So he is dead. And then obviously the guy that had 1 left, he is dead. So I have defeated my first combat. So, all right, I was successful in my first combat. So I'm just going to kind of reset these and take those out. I'm going to move this out, and let's see, move my hero out. And yeah, so we'll go ahead. I want to, I don't think it does matter. I was thinking it did, but the location and risk, I don't think matters. But after your combat, you can either choose, like if I was really damaged, I could choose to rest, which instead of searching, and if I rest, I remove all conditions, and I restore my HP to its maximum, but I'm not that hurt. So I think what I will do is I want to search, and whenever you successfully complete a skill check or survive a combat, which I just did, you can perform a search. So I'm going to end the overall turn and kind of get all these cards cleaned up. So basically put those in the right discard piles. So that's all done. And now what I need to do is draw a card from the Fate deck. And to draw from the Fate deck, I can just click player action. And that will perform my search. And depending on the suit is what I will find. I'd love to find a clue, and I can describe that. So I want a diamond, but I don't want a club. Anything but a club. Time to pause the video and shuffle the deck and do this again. Just kidding. So basically, the way this works on a search, if it's a heart, you find a relic. which I haven't read too much about it, but it sounds like a cool, unique item. A diamond is a clue. Clues help you fight the nightmare lord at the end. So they like, I guess the way I think about it is maybe you find a little bit of a weakness or something, but you can use those in your fight against the nightmare lord. A spade is a mundane item, so you can add to your mundane items, and the club is nothing. You searched and you found nothing. So, all right, let's just end that again, and we're done. So that is my first, yeah, that's my first gameplay. So I've done that. I started with 11 encounter deck cards. Now I'm down to 10, but now we would go back and I'm about 35 minutes in. I think I'm going to do at least one more. I don't know that I'll go. I think I'll do this in multiple sessions, or at least break them up, and we'll see. But I think I'll go for a little bit more. So let's get this crawling hand out of there and kind of reset our table. So, all right, so we're going to, again, do our location and our risk. So location is a 2 of spades, and the risk is 9 of hearts. So since it's red, that is not going to be an encounter. That's going to be some kind of skill that I have to utilize. So, okay. So we are going to go to our location table. And I feel like I always forget 2 of spades. I thought it was, yeah. So we will go up one more. There we go. Nope. I must have done that wrong. There we go. That's what I wanted. Location, club spades. All right. So 2 of spades, a sunken crypt split wide open with broken urns and dusty relics spilling into the hallway. You can check it. I think all of them say you can check it. So I think that's just a reminder. I haven't seen any that don't say you can check it. So, all right. Sunken crypt split wide open. That's that. And then my risk is a 9 of hearts. So let's go to the risk 9 of hearts. Why is this not? I swear I had these. Oh, somehow my bookmarks got jacked up. All right, 9 of hearts. Dozens of hollow eyes stare at you from the cracks in the walls. Test your insight. Yeah, that's not so bueno. So I've got a 2 insight. So, but that's good. At least it'll give us, maybe this will be a good place to stop after this, because I will have done a combat and then I will have done a skill check. So we are doing insight. Oh man, I did that wrong. Oh no. Oh well, my first time. I just realized that veil, I don't know why I kept thinking it was a spade, but the veil is actually a club. So I did the entire combat wrong, but this is a session. That's okay. I just have to remember that my veil is actually a club, not a spade. Ah, all right. So now we're doing spade, which is insight. So I only get 2 cards. And what I need to do for our skill check is I'll draw 2 cards. If I draw a spade, it's a success. If I draw a club, which is black, but it's not, it's so I don't match the suit, but I do match the color, then that is a messy success. So I still succeed, but I will take some damage. And finally, if it's a red card, then I don't succeed at all. So 2 cards, here we go. Oh, failure. So it's called a major setback. So it's just a straight up failure. So what happens is I lose the chance to search and I suffer a setback. And a setback, let's see, I believe you suffer damage equal to half the value of the drawn encounter risk card rounded down. So I think whether it's a messy success or a failure, both of them are a setback. So in this case, I would take 4 damage because 9 divided by 2 is 4.5, rounded down is 4. So if I go back to this, I think the way this works though is the minute I think it carries over, damage carries over to enemies. I don't think it carries over to you. So I think as soon as I get down, my hit protection goes away. I take 1 point of vigor. So I might look that up to see if that's right. But this will reset to 5. I immediately lose all of those. My vigor goes down by 1, and then I didn't succeed, so I don't get to do anything as it relates to searching. And I guess I would say technically can't rest either, because usually that's an either or. So I don't think there's a way you can rest. So I'm going to end the overall turn. And there we go. Let's do one more, and kind of fun. I like the gameplay loop here. Let's do one more, and then we'll call it. Right, get me to a little less than an hour. All right, location, risk. Oh, another combat. I like it. 3 of spades. So let's see what that says. 3 of spades. There we go. So sitting in the oh wait, 3 of spades is my location. I'm really trying to screw this up. Why is this not? There we go. You see a crumbling stairwell drowning in still muddy water with the glint of a locked chest just below the surface. So crumbling stairwell drowning in still muddy water. So that's what I see. And then 8 of clubs. 8 of clubs. So I go to risk. Beware, there's a faceless man sitting nearby, calmly sharpening his weapon. No, gosh. If only I could read. 8 of clubs. My goodness. So let's strike that. The bones in the corner start to assemble, grabbing rusty weapons from the floor. Oh, I kind of like that. You're in the stairwell, and it's a little bit flooded, but these skeleton comes out of nowhere, so they're immune to any non-direct damage. What does that mean? Non-direct damage. Non-direct damage. So is a weapon direct damage? I don't want to get that wrong. So let's get these guys set up. So they're 1 vigor, 1 threat. There's 4 skeletons. But let's look up direct damage. So my combat art does 2 direct damage. Or sorry, which one was my combat art? No, it's not. How do I know if it's direct damage? Ignores any dodge bonus, but what is direct damage? Does that mean skeletons? I can't hurt these guys at all? Conditions. Yeah, I'm really confused as to what direct damage is. I mean, seems like if it doesn't tell you it's direct damage, it's not. So that means I can't harm these guys, and I just have to run. Is that right? I'm just looking in the book briefly to see if it says anything about direct damage. But that would not be good, because if if there's no way to hurt them, then I would think I just need to UTFO. But is there a way to even get out? It does say you can retreat, but how do you retreat? Does it tell you? I feel like enemies profile. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything as it relates to direct damage. Like, I don't think I can hurt these skeletons. I think I just need to get out. Immune to any non-direct damage. I mean, I could, yeah, there's nothing I can do. So, all right, let's go back to, I want to see if I can find retreat. So it says you can retreat, obviously, but it doesn't, there's nothing else. Let's just see if I can see in the combat player attacks, player movement, attack card, area of effect. It doesn't say how you can retreat. At least it's not. Yeah. I guess what I'm going to say, and I'm just going to house rule this, maybe I'll ask Peter, but given I don't see a way to retreat, but I can't hurt him. So, like, I don't want to just sit there and die, basically. I think what I'll do is I'm going to call it a skill check to try to run away. And what would that be? I feel like it says you can use anything for a skill check, but it seems like you'd have to use. I mean, I think fortunately for me, I think you would. Let's just go back to our skills. Let's go back to character creation skills. I mean, I would think it would be a maybe a veil check. It's not stealth. Probably veil or grit. Physical and endurance. I'm gonna say grit. I'll say it's a grit check. So we're gonna do a grit check. So I need 3 and I need hearts. And I'm just gonna say like I can get away, but it's either a success, messy success, or failure. So we're looking for hearts. We're gonna do 3 cards. So at least I got a diamond, which is red. So I did succeed. I got away from these guys. However, I will take a damage, I guess I'll say related to this risk. So I'm going to say I take the half the value of the risk card, the encounter card rounded down. So I'm going to say it's a 4. So I get 4 points of damage and 1, 2, 3. So I would go down to 1 and I still have 4 vigor, but I only have 1 hit protection left. And I'll say I was able to, slip back out of the hallway and I was able to get away from the skeletons. I do want to ask Peter that because it seems odd that, I mean, you're in a situation you just can't affect these guys at all, but I don't see how I could have hurt them. So I think that's it. I will clean up the deck. I will say overall turn end, and I might pause the video and maybe play again later today and keep this going. But there you have it. That is a couple of rounds of Brightborne. Really fun game. And again, I'll click on this link here and show you, but right now it is available. It's on sale for half price, $4.99 on DriveThruRPG. So if this looked fun to you, I would encourage you to check it out. And yeah, until next time, let me know what you thought about this game and give me a like, give me a comment if you have any questions or comments or want to see more. Thanks all.